What is freaking up? My name is Eve.
My name is Sarah.
And we are Burnt Out Perfectionist.
Happy Monday.
Even though we don't record on a Monday, we record on a Friday.
I know, I always feel really funny because it's like I have Friday feels, but then we're saying Monday, and I'm like, here goes the week. And my brain starts thinking of all the plans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your survival time of the week?
My survive. I had one. I thought of it on the way when I was going to pick up my freaking prescriptions, and it is gone right now. What is my I'll start with my thrive. My thrive is I have successfully continued to wake up at the same time, because for a while there it was kind of varying. Stay organized and keep up on like the prepping vegetables that I was doing in that container. And I know that may seem like a low cost thing or a low mind thing for other people. It makes my life a lot easier in the morning, which allows me or my kid to like pick out stuff for like her lunch and everything. Yeah, so that's basically like my thrive. And then my survive is I don't know, kind of like low end survive, but like hockey starts. So it's like getting into that routine again, getting all the stuff and everything. It should work really great. So our friends were at London Drugs, and she calls me and she's like, dude, they have those seats, the heated seats, but like they're extra padded. They have a really good back, a really thick bottom, and they have like arms. I don't know why I tried to say that a different way.
Armrests?
Yeah, they have armrests. There you go. And like a place like where you can put like phone and other stuff, right? But it's not a full chair, because like where my kid does hockey, some of the facilities are a lot older. So they have these like weird like bleacher seatings, and they're not comfortable, especially for someone who is currently still going through the rehabilitation process after being in a car accident. So usually these things run like $150. They were on sale for $50. All I hear is, okay, I'm good, and goes running back and grabs them. And then he goes, there was one lonely one left. So he grabbed it for our other friend, Ashley. So because she's always cold, I'm quite excited to sit comfortably. And I broke out my, I call it my hockey mom vest. The really long, like,
Oh my God, the Costco classic bum cupper.
You know what? There is nothing better than a good long vest. Not just when you're tall, but like just in general, because it can work as like a little blanket when I'm sitting there. Because they have chosen to not turn on and allow any heating in the building.
I'm sorry. I've gone to watch your kids' games, and I sit at the top because I'm like, why not sit at the top?
Yeah.
I'm tall. I don't want to block all of the grandmas. And then it's like, hey, do you want a heat blaster on your forehead?
So a lot of people don't actually know that you have to press a button to make them work. So some people will be sitting there freezing, and then you go and press the button. And then other people don't know they exist, and they're like, why is it so hot here? I dressed to be in an arena. And I'm like, it all depends.
So hockey and vegetables.
And just like being able to keep like a consistent routine. I think that's a big thing, is like keeping that consistent routine to like then set myself and everybody up. It's a lot easier. You can grab and go. It works for dinner. It works for lunch, all that other stuff. So,
Steve. My survive is, so yesterday, on Thursday, we sat down, because what we're trying to do is we have a lot of things going on in October. Look on our social medias for more.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I really want to I have some time off. I'm like, I want to get all of this done nice and early, because then Sarah can edit whenever she wants, but it's like done.
Mm-hmm.
Done. Sit down. My microphone's not working.
Yeah. Which we all know that I am usually the one that has the microphone issues.
But Sarah's like, oh, okay. So I did the usual, switched out the cords, restarted the computer, deleted the app, downloaded the app, all of the different combinations. I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to the company and be like, hey, it's not working. Didn't get an answer for the past 24 freaking hours. And they were like, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Lies. And bought a new microphone, which is great. Love a new microphone. It's pretty. It's very clean. And went to go set it up, and it decided to not want to connect properly. So I've been sitting here for the past hour reconnecting, and it finally got to work. So that's my survive. Because swear to God, my luck with Apple. Why is it every single time we do a nice update?
We have like, I think I can make a full compilation of you saying this at least 10 times.
To Apple? Because every time there is a software update, it messes with the GarageBand template.
Which is like, we expected it to mess with the GarageBand template. That's why we were like, okay, like we'll get everything set up. It'll be good. Eve's like, I'm going downstairs. I'll get this figured out. Like,
Yeah.
fully prepared.
Mentally prepared that I'm going to have to sit here.
I would like us
do
to
it.
say, did you list that you also purchased new headphones as well?
I did also purchase new headphones because the headphones that I've been using were kind of crapping out. But today I've decided that they want to work. So
yeah. So Eve has spent a lot of money on a Friday to ensure that we have an episode for this Monday. Hopefully the other company gets back to you. So that way maybe there's some like warranty stuff that can be done. And then you can either take back the other one or we'll just have a constant spare.
I also thought though, like, where did I put it? I'll put it in there. So I was like, maybe I could spray paint it. It could be miniature-fy. And my thread is, well, I started getting back into my reading doll era.
Nice.
So during this past week, I hung out with my friend and her kid, a very adorable child. Love her and the child. And she was talking about how she was reading more, and we were talking about different authors. And she was like, I feel like you'll understand, like, when you read an author and you're like, God damn, this is not intellectually interesting.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I totally get that. And so I came home last night. Well, I was off yesterday. I was at home and I was like, you know what? I have been waiting to read Pumpkin Spice Cafe.
Oh, perfect. We're about to get a book review, everybody. Hold your horses. It is all over the Tiki Talks. It is all over the Youbes. It's all over everything.
I'm going to be honest. I was kind of not expecting the level of spice that was introduced.
When you were talking about this morning. And like, comment, or agree down below if you think we should use the hot sauce rating with the spicy peppers, so that way everybody kind of knows the spiciness level that is in books.
Yes, I think that would be great. There should be a whole website called Add a Little Bit of Spice.
Yeah.
Because, like, and by spice, I don't mean, like, just a peck. I meant, like, full detail in other areas. And I was like, wow, didn't expect that. I'm going to be honest. I'd give it, like, a 3 or a 2 out of 5.
Which is, I mean, give an honest rating. A lot of people will talk up a lot of things, and there's books that we've looked at before where I've looked at buying, and then because of reviews of other people that I've watched and stuff like this, and I love like an honest review that they don't tell me all the details, but they're like, if you don't like blank, then you probably won't like this book.
I would say I wish that there was more development in the environment and the characters leading up.
Okay.
I felt like it does go in 2 different perspectives. So the 2 main people, it switches off each chapter, which I don't mind. But I also feel like there could have been a lot more, like, it felt like the whole time they had the same idea for the one thing.
Yeah.
Which I felt like some of the things could have been expanded a lot more. I was interested on other character storylines, which I know that she's continuing it into different stories. But I just didn't feel complete when I watched it. When I read it.
This is like the 3rd time she said watch. That's why she's laughing at herself. I was like, wait a second, you watched it? Or I thought you were going to read the book. She's like, you know what I mean?
Well, like,
she watched it in her mind.
And I, like, reading it, it only took me like 2 hours to read. It's like a 400-page book. It's not that big of a book.
Oh, yeah, that's not that big.
And I was like, I didn't mind, like, the words and stuff like that. I also find that, like, sometimes I read a book and I'm, like, wishing for certain things to happen, and they don't, which is okay. It's, like, it's whatever the author wants to do.
Oh, 100%. Like, it's not, it was just, like, the way, I guess, that it was, like, structured.
It just seemed very, like, Hallmark. Not Hallmark.
Oh, Hallmark.
CW.
Like Riverdale. CW.
With more detail.
Oh, then I'd go, instead of CW, I'd go HBO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, like, if that's what you're into, you
live your best life. That's totally fine.
But when I hear that it's going to be, like, the Book of Autumn and that it's, like, autumn, I'm like, Oh, my God. Call me Gilmore Girls.
I was about to say, you were looking for Gilmore Girls and you got 50 Shades of Orange.
Yeah. Well, not even, like, Gilmore Girls, like, the relationship. I just like the appreciation of the seasons.
Yeah.
And, like, I love to know, like, what's going to be there. What's the new, like, the whole time, it's called the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I wanted to know what was on the menu. I wanted to know what was the seasonal weekly beverage. I wanted to know what the regulars were ordering.
Yeah.
What do they like? What are their stories?
What is the aesthetic?
Yes.
Said thing. Like stuff like that.
What does the books look like? I feel like I just couldn't picture it. And I felt like it was like, it could have been split up into multiple books just with that book and then expanding the different topics.
Yeah.
Which I totally, like, if it was like the Pumpkin Spice Cafe trilogy and like it lined out in like the end, like totally makes sense. For all one book, I feel like I was just had a lot of cliffhangers, and I was just like, okay, what happened? Like they would lead up to something and then they'd be like talking about it to somebody the next day. I'm like, but I wanted to experience it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like but like it got me. I'm now reading Book Lovers by Emily Henry, which is about like a book editor, and it's very like Hallmark. I find that like I can, if I have like a short Hallmark type book.
Is that a Netflix movie?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Okay, I literally watched some Netflix movie like last year in the winter, and it was about like a book publisher, and I was like, oh, this is almost giving Proposal with Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds, and then it was like very similar.
Well, it might be somewhat similar. I don't know. This book's came out like a while ago.
Oh, okay.
But it like, I don't know. I feel like I'm like trying to get back into my reading, and I have books to read, but I just keep sitting there going.
I was like literally bluntly told by our mother this morning. She was like, by the way, I have like tons of books if you want to read them. And I was just like, oh yeah, like I have books over there, but sometimes I just like, I'm doing something else or I get distracted or whatever. And she starts laughing. She's like, I wasn't talking about like your personal development, self-help books where you need to learn and use your brain. I was talking about ones where you just read and they shut your brain off. And I was just like, yeah, but usually I know that. She's like, sometimes you just need to shut your brain off. Okay, I love you. I'm going to work now. And she left. And I was like, oh, I've been told.
I feel like some of them, and I feel like with like there's quite like a romance like vibe of people coming out with books.
Yeah.
I do just need to know like how much detail is in the book.
Again, the level of spice.
Because let's
give me a score scale, just like hot sauce.
Because if I'm reading it and like, you know, it starts and you're like, okay. And then you're like, well, you gotta skim the page because you're like, shit. What if in like the middle of it,
something
the character says something super important to the plot and you're just like,
right?
Yeah. So, Thrive. I'm back in my reading girl era. Survive. Fuck you, technology.
Oh yeah. Just one thing before we hop into our thrifting, I just want to state that Overwhelm the Label's Hobby Enthusiast and Homebody Crew collection is now available live on our website and became available on September 20th, which is when we're recording, which is right now. We only did a straight navy blue collection. And then what color would you say like the font is? Is it just white?
It's like a cream.
It's like a cream. So there's some stuff that has embroidered on it and some of it is like a print screen that's on there. They're super cute designs. They were all designed by Eve.
Thank you.
And we have tote bags, phone cases, and everything like that. One of my personal favorites, of course, I like all of them, is the Hobby Enthusiast, but it's kind of done almost like, best way I can describe it is like a shipping label.
Oh, I
or
like it's like laundry washing label.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It has lots of little definitions and stuff like that in there. Once everything calms down, because as we all know as parents, shit gets expensive in life. I do really want to get one of them on like a hoodie. I think I figured out that I am not a crew neck person. Every single time I put them on, I like feel uncomfortable. And I also feel like some days, especially right now, like if you're located in an area that does this right now, everybody jokes and calls it Canadian fall or Canadian transitional areas and stuff like that. Basically, it is generally somewhere below 10 degrees Celsius when you wake up in the morning. And then at about noon, it decides to jump all the way up to like 25 degrees Celsius. And that's like a massive difference.
Which like, let's just say it's going from times 2 plus 28, like 48 degrees to 79.
And then the interesting part is it actually increases the temperature until like sometimes 6 o'clock at night. Like yesterday, it was almost 30 degrees.
And it started at 5.
It started at 5 degrees. So we're kind of in that area. And I don't know if it's just because I'm just like, I want to wear another shirt underneath it. And it feels kind of weird, or it like peeks out at the top, or it's longer. That's the other issue, because a lot of my t-shirts are longer. And I'm just like debating right now. I think I'm going to go through my clothes this weekend. So be prepared for a FaceTime.
Yay!
For anything that you want.
Well, I do need to go through and wash all my clothes because I flipped my closet around. I had one of those days that I just like couldn't complete anything, so I decided to move around my dresser, move around my closet. I don't have a dresser. I have a cube storage.
Cube storage works great.
So, and then I've been waiting until I've been off to clean all of my clothes, because I wash my work clothes, but then like I have a bajillion sweaters and I wear all my sweaters. I saw this chick that was like, how long could you go without doing laundry? And I was like, probably a month.
Based on sweaters and leggings / biker shorts alone, yeah. Because like I literally will wear a sweater or a crew neck every single day except for the summertime. Every single day. But I don't wash them every single time either, because it's a sweater. I mean, unless I spill something on myself. But I'll like
forget to put deodorant.
Yeah. So I'll like fold it and put it back in the drawer, so that way I can wear it again later. But yeah. My husband laughs. My husband's like, sometimes I don't even remember t-shirts that you have, because I always just like see you in a hoodie. And I was like, yeah, because especially right now, it's freaking cold.
A little bit cold. Like I go to work in like a sweater, and then I come out and I'm like, I need shorts.
Oh yeah, like I'm trying to find like the best combo. Today so far, I've got like a terry cloth zip up hoodie, sweat shorts, which I have like 2 pairs of these, and they're extremely comfortable. I got them from the Gap, and I got them on the clearance rack like a couple of years ago, and they're the best. And then I have like a t-shirt, but it's longer. But yeah, the reason why I was like, I shall segue into clothing and stuff like this. So as we know, there's a couple different ways that you can go about revamping closets and stuff like that in between seasons. And some folks will hop on websites and stuff like that and find things. Some folks will curate Pinterest boards. At some point, some folks will just like wing it. They'll go to the mall or whatever. But something that is, I guess, more of like a recent trend since COVID and stuff like that, I feel like, or even just like, as I call them, the more mindful generation, Gen Z, has brought forward like a lot more thrifting stuff. So we've actually been thrifting stuff like our whole lives. Yeah, like grabbing stuff.
It's like we're like a pick-me girl. Like, I've been doing thrifting since birth.
Oh, I mean, like, that's not how I meant it. I just meant it as like, these are a couple things that like we've kind of gone along and done, or like things that you may not think that you can buy at the thrift store.
Yeah.
Like, for example, something that I have like grabbed is, I don't know if anybody else has gotten super into those like melting beads. What is the name of them again?
Not perler beads.
Yeah.
Perler beads?
Yeah, perler beads. The ones where you like put them on the individual, it's like a board that has like a little dart sticking up, and you put them individually. You make a little shape, and then you put like, it used to be wax paper, but now it's like parchment paper, and then you iron over top of it, and it combines them. So my daughter got super into that for her before and after school care, and over the summer she was just like, oh, I'd really love these. So she took her money and she got some stuff from Michael's and was doing stuff like that. I was doing it. I think Eve did some stuff. I could be totally wrong.
I did them when I was a kid.
But yeah. I mean, I
haven't done them since.
I always laugh when stuff like that comes back, because I don't remember. And then I'm like, oh my God, I used to do that all the time. And she's like, what? And it's super fun. So we were doing stuff like that. And I donated my iron probably like 4 years ago or something, because I didn't use it. I didn't have a place to do it. So I just donated it. And then when I decided that I needed a crafting one, as you know, you don't really need to go out and buy a brand new one to do crafts. You just need one that heats it up. So I went back and I went to Valley Village not that long ago, and I found the exact same iron that I had for $7.
I find that a lot of things, especially when you want to like redo something like trays, when you have like home decor and stuff like that, but you want to do like a DIY home decor.
Yeah.
Like pumpkins. I feel like plastic pumpkins. Everyone will go to like craft stores and they're like, oh my God, this one's $13. And I'm like, go to the thrift store.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of those, our mom has always been very much like, loved getting like the older crafting stuff like from the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
Because, you know, she's still working on like scrapbooks, and she's like, well, I want it to go with everything. And the stuff now doesn't always like go.
No, or there's like limited amounts of stuff. Like, I've even gone, when she originally started doing the Perler Beat stuff before she bought more stuff from Michael's, we were walking past it for $2. I got this, like, huge thing, and it was basically brand new, and it was the whole set that they had from Walmart.
Yeah.
So I got that there, and then she saw they had all these bundles made of, like, embroidery thread, which, if you remember, you can make friendship bracelets out of that. So she was super stoked about that and grabbed that, and that was really cheap to get, like, a bunch of them. But yeah, like, there's little things like that when you're kind of going around. Frames is another huge thing. Like, and there's so many things that you can paint, but what I always try to do is, like, I'll look to see how much something costs that I want, and then I'll, like, take a picture of it, and sometimes I'm like, I wonder if I can DIY that. But is the DIY logical? Like, will it cost more? Because as we know, with, like, the way the economy is and stuff like that, a lot of things have gone up in price. So, like, are you just going into a never-ending project that may cost more and more over time, or will it be great? And I kind of go from there. Also, it's another really great place to pick up, like, essentials. I know some people are like, ew, getting stuff from the thrift store is gross. If you clean it and you have, like, a really solid wash cycle, there's tons of different ones, of course, on every single washing machine, but there's lots of different options. There's people who sometimes donate newer things too, because maybe it sat in their closet and they didn't need it anymore.
My favorite thing to get is books.
Oh yeah, that's a huge thing actually right now. So at the one on my side, like where I live,
Yeah.
I walked into our book section, and there are so many books that are donated. And before, when you used to go to the thrift store, like, the books would be really old.
Yeah.
And now, I'm not even kidding you, there's, like, Colleen Hoover books. There's, like, Laura what's her name books. There's, like, she's like one of those other people who's
classy.
I don't know. She's like one of those people who's always on, like, Book Talk. But there's, like, tons of books that I've seen on social media that people have donated, either, like, after reading or whatever, and they're there. And in some cases, I've seen them range anywhere from, like, $1 to $5. And, like, if you go to the bookstore right now, they're like $35 for a book.
Well, I also found it's not a thrift store, but it's like an outlet. It's called Book Outlet.
Oh,
it's a website where they don't have all of the books, but because I was looking into getting I'm looking for the Dash and Lily books.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's a Christmas series, and, like, our mom and I love watching the series.
Ben's favorite series.
Oh my God, it's
Christmas.
so cute.
He loved it. He watched it.
I just love that it's not, like, I don't know, it's very cutesy, very demure, very
mindful.
And I was looking for them, and I looked on like Indigo and stuff, and they're like $30-$40 for the set, and I'm just like, I just want to, like, pay a couple dollars, and then, like, I can have it. Or I recently found out, which I know Sarah's gonna laugh, that the Something Bored movie is a book trilogy.
Yes.
Which I didn't know, because I watched the movie and I was like, oh, it's like Something Borrowed, Something Blue, something, oh, there's a baby, and then there's another one.
So I legitimately didn't know it was a series until, like, my friend was like, can you come with me to go see this movie? And we went and saw it, and it said inspired by the book.
I know, and so I was like, oh, I really want to read this. I do love, like, a classy romance novel.
Yeah.
I did read, like, The Summer I Turned Pretty before it came out, because I was like, oh, I'm going to get to or not. I read all the books in, like, it was like a day. So I was like, I just went.
Just like an easy peasy read?
Like, it wasn't a lot of thinking. And I've read To All the Boys I've Loved Before. And, like, I like those ones. Obviously, I'm just a Jenny Han fan. Just love that woman.
Oh, I love her writing style from the stuff that I've seen, but even the way that, like, she's so actively involved in the development of, like, the movies or the TV shows that come from her books. So that way they're as close as possible from what my understanding is.
But also, I like that she can give reasoning if they change things.
Yeah, like,
book.
I thought it was different because of this, and I would have done this differently, or this is what some book company told me that I had to do, and now I have free reign. Like,
totally. And, like, I love those. And I like reading, like, series. If I'm trying to get back into reading, I like a one-shot stop. Like, I can read the book and I'm done.
Yeah.
But if I want to read, actually, I might start reading Mockingjay, the Zoella books.
Oh, you mean the ones that I bought for you?
Like 2.5 years ago.
Do you want to laugh really hard, though? I bought Eve the books. And then I literally made sure, I was waiting for the second one to come out, so I bought the first one. or it was like, I was waiting for it to come out. One of them came and it was 100% in French.
Do you remember though? I had a concussion right around then.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I just can't read these books. I can't read this book.
I'm so sorry. I can't read the book. And you were like,
it's okay. You have a concussion. It's totally fine. And then you handed it to me and I was like, this is in French. And you were like, what? I'm like, this is like, and it was so weird because everything was exactly the same. Like even the front page.
Oh, even the name. It was so funny. It was the first book because I remember I was like, oh, I wanted to read it.
Yeah.
But I might read those and then let me know if you have any book recs. I'll have a good refer.
Oh, yeah. The other one, I'm going to pull it. Was it called Reckless? Was that the other one that I was looking at?
You were looking at the one from Costco? Yeah. It was like Power and Wreck or something.
There's Powerless. I think it's Powerless, Reckless. And oh my God, I went to look it up because I know you looked it up on the Zon. And it was just like, no, you're not allowed to look this up at this time. I need an authentication code. No, you do not need authentication code. It's right here in front of my face. Powerless and Reckless. They're Lauren Roberts books. They're like $15 right now at Costco. So that's why I'm asking. Now, I'm just gonna throw it out there. For folks who work at Costco, can you please ensure that when you're putting the books in there, I don't know if it's just ours, but there are young adults mixed in with like a book called Metal Baby, which I thought looked really adorable. And like other kids' books. So this Powerless and Reckless book, it looks like either a young adult or an adult book. And even reading it on the back, it sounds like it too. And for the reviews that I was reading, it looks like it was a lot of adults who were reading it. And it is literally like right next to the Guinness Book of World Records, like the kid version. And the other week, this made me giggle. And I actually told an employee because I was like, oh my goodness. The Court of Thorn and Roses series was book series was directly next to Harry Potter in the kids section. And I was like, oh, and it wasn't just like one or two. There was like 25 of them there. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And then the book that Eve was just talking about was actually right next to it too. So like all amongst very kid forward books. And I like walked over to a Costco employee. I'm like, hi, do you know what those books are? They're like, no. And I was like, they are like fairy, one of the creators I watch calls them fairy porn. And she goes, what? And I was like, yeah, those are not for kids. And she goes, oh, okay, we need to move those. I'm like, also not quite sure, but I know that Pumpkin Spice Cafe book is an adult book. And she goes, okay. And now after Eve informed me of all the details, I'm really glad I pointed that one out too.
Yeah. It's like, can we just pen together of like the spicy book trade? Or like, I know that it was called like the closed door, open door thing. Just, if we just have the level of spice and we can have an indication, that would be great. Yeah. Maybe we should just start a website with that. It's called like, how much spice?
I know, but does that mean I would have to read the books with all the spice? Because I don't like, I want to be able to read a book and have like my kid around me and it doesn't say like his pulsating member. If you know that reference, make a comment below. His pulsating member. Ashley, is there another word for that?
The worst that I think is meat stick.
Meat stick, yeah.
I don't know. I think that would also be helpful.
I think it would be helpful too because I understand that there's a young adult category, but it was really funny because I thought young adult was for like
15 to 17-year-olds.
Yeah, I thought it was like 15 to 17-year-olds. So if I was interested in anything like that, like I would be like not reading down, but like I'm 30, almost 38 years old. So like, is that weird that I'm reading them? And Eve looks at me and goes, no. Like technically, I think if you were to look at whatever age span they put on it, I would be out of the age span. But it's actually something like, isn't it like 14 or 15 to like 25 when we looked at it?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's like very like all over the place. And obviously like, I don't know. I know some parents will allow kids to read certain things. I feel like the level of details is sometimes not needed.
If you want your kid to read about certain acts, that is 100% up to you and your parenting style.
And areas for various nocturnal activities.
Yes.
In great detail.
In great detail.
But yeah, books you can get there. A lot of people find like vases or dishes.
Yeah.
Like I got, well, we used to have these dishes because, you know, after the first couple months after our dad died, I was like, Mom, we should get matching dishes, all white. It'll look all nice together. No. Within like 10 seconds, four plates broke.
And we were really wondering why they left, and you were like, I am using these ones now.
No, because it was like, oh, it broke. And it was just a safety hazard.
Oh, yeah.
But even finding like blankets for like fabric's huge, yarn.
Oh, people who are pulling, I call it a Sound of Music, where they're buying like these big, beautiful, some of these are like beautifully embroidered like curtain panels.
Mm-hmm.
That are like obviously for somebody's like really nice house. There's a girl who was taking them and making them into like dresses to wear to people's weddings.
Mm-hmm.
And she was making these like amazing dresses. There's another girl that I watch who does these like things I could never think of doing because she attends a lot of like music festivals and like Burning Man and stuff like that. And I wouldn't wear a majority of the stuff that she makes, but man, can I appreciate how she makes them and how she thinks of things. And she's like, I bought this. And you know what? It was ripped up the side. I got it for $1, or it has this hole here. So I did this with it. And I'm like, wow, like the level of imagination, like you can always start with a base and then go from there. Like there's vases and stuff like that. I saw a lot of people doing it. Our mom does this, like where you mix the paint with like the baking powder or whatever, and then you brush it on and gives it like a terracotta look.
Are we getting fake flowers?
Yeah.
Little trinkets and stuff like that.
Yeah, just like fun little things.
I like doing it, like going and finding, like I only find like a couple things for Christmas that I'm like, oh, I found this and I think that's really cool. Or like office organization.
Oh my goodness, it's anything organization, to be totally honest. Like if you need those under the shelf things, I again always watch the pricing. Some of these things you might be able to get at like your local like Dollarama or whatever, but I found some really great stuff. I found something that is always overpriced. I can never find it anywhere else. And I couldn't believe I found it when I got it. I went to the Restore, which is a Habitat for Humanity thrift store. And I found one of those, this is like 2-3 years ago. I found one of those pot and pan like lid organizers. And they're like really oddly shaped, but it's actually made out of heavy metal because so many of them now are just like, like flimsy. And it makes a huge difference. Like, I never really use the lids for my pods, but at least they're all in one place and they're not rolling around everywhere because I don't know how many times I opened up the cover and it was like, heat, and it just came out.
Well, even like finding, like I know a lot of people will do furniture.
I know furniture's great. Furniture's great, especially if you have some type of like heavy duty cleaner at your house. You can find a lot of really awesome things that get donated.
We got 2 wingback chairs that were matching from Habitat for Humanity. And a lot of the time they have like colored take deals. So I ended up getting both chairs for $60.
I know, like, obviously you have to have the time to look. And that's kind of the thing that puts a lot of people off. Also, different stores will organize things differently. Like, there's one of the consignment stores in our area and they organize everything by color, but not by size. And then other people will do just size. But then the size it always depends on like the type of like where it's from or whatever. Because we have sizes all over the place, especially in women's clothing. And some of them don't have fitting rooms, but they have really good return policies if they don't have a fitting room, which is really great.
I feel like too, then you can find like dresses and stuff like that. Like especially if you go to a wedding, we all know that there's that section.
Yeah.
Where everybody's like, oh, this is a dress that I wore once and I'm not going to wear it again.
Oh, yeah.
Or like when everybody's getting married and you're like, well, I want to wear the same dress to every single function.
I got a really cool like pantsuit and it's strapless. It's black and it has really nice like flowers all over it. And it's not like digital, like puffy flowers, but like the print is flowers. And it's super cute. And it's like, it's probably about half a size too big for me. But I got it for about $18. I looked it up and it was originally $120. Literally nothing wrong with it, but it looks like something that somebody would wear to somebody's wedding. And I was just like, even if I took this to a tailor, if our mom was like, I don't want to figure this out, and took it to a tailor and got it fixed, I would still be like 100% in the green for it.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so long. Like, it's so hard to find stuff like that where it's like super long and it has like a wider leg, so it's not tight. So.
And like there's that trend going around where you can like ghostify paintings and stuff like that.
Oh my goodness. I want to do that so bad. And I know people are like laughing. I want to do it so bad it's not even funny. I also saw a bunch of folks who were just like, just getting like prints and doing that. Or they were like replacing their frames in their house, but they were like doing like fun things with it, even just like with like family photos where you would take like a clear piece of plastic and then like paint something fun and then stick it behind and be like, does everybody actually look at the frame photos on the wall when they come in?
Yeah. Or even like candles, like plain stick candles. Like you can obviously get them at the store and stuff, but then there's like the twisty candles that you can do, or like you buy mugs and you can paint mugs.
I know there's another thing too is appliances. So I know some people are like off and on. So it depends on, of course, if they like test it or whatever. But there's some of those like ones that you kind of like are like, oh, well, it would be fun to get that, but would I use it? And you could even get it. I mean, if it works for a bit and then stops working, at least you knew that you liked it and you can go out and buy another one. But there's so many different options when it comes to stuff like that. I've had a really good chance of scoring huge when it comes to kids stuff. And one thing to keep in mind is if you can afford to shop or even have like a budget for off season. So like when winter was over, I want to say it was like end of spring, almost summer, I went in to a thrift store in our area and I was kind of looking around. I found, Eve in one of them found Columbia snow pants, and I got them for like $2 or something. And then I found a bunch of snowboarding jackets, really nice snowboarding jackets. I found at a different one, I found like Burton, Rip Zone, like all those kind of things. And they were literally in great condition because, as we know, a lot of kids grow really fast. And I took them home and I cleaned them and they're great. And they're still extremely water repellent, but I sprayed them anyways, just in case. And getting stuff like that, like you're looking at upwards of like $100 or more right now when it comes to if you're looking at buying brand names. Usually I buy the good old one from Costco. And I do have one of those, but it also varies on like how tall your kid is. Are the pants going to be long enough? Are they not going to be long enough? Same with like the sleeves and stuff. So I got brand new. It was really funny because I couldn't believe that they were there. I looked over and I saw these like 2 brand new like crew necks. And I was like, there's no way it's those. I walk over, I pull them off the rack. Like I was going through and looking and I grabbed not one, a couple things down, grabbed the other one. I'm like, these are brand new. Like you could feel that it was new. Sure enough, the tag was on the inside. There were these Mickey Mouse crew necks that I saw in H&M. And they were brand new with the tags on. And I paid $3 a piece for them. But it was half off day. So I actually paid $1.50. And they're so nice. So cute. I'm like, oh, it's great. They're originally like $55 a piece.
And like, I find that I like a lot of things worn in anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can get like plain sweaters where you just put like a patch on.
Or like you can put like you have a heat press. Yeah, put stuff on it too. You know that heat press that you bought?
It's very useful. I use it quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's great because it's a really good one and it seals everything down really well.
Oh my God. Also, it's like double the price though.
Oh, I know, because a lot of people are doing like businesses and stuff like from home and everything. So a lot of people are doing them like quickly.
Yeah. Another big thing is utensils.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Back in the day when Sarah and our other sister used to live at the households, it felt as though Sarah was eating spoons.
Oh yeah, I think
our other sister
before
was eating forks. So our dad was like, I'm done. Went to the thrift store. It's like a bundle of them. They're all mixed match. We all have our favorite fork. Mine's the slightly heavier one with the dented on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, delightful fork. And so we got those and I was like, oh, that's sweet. Never have to think about it. And then it's not like, oh, well, we're missing these ones. We bought new ones. No, we just use random ones. I love to find random mugs that are like the ones that you're like, oh, well, I remember having that when I was younger.
Oh, yeah. I always look for those Hercules plates.
I do, too. I just want Pegasus.
Oh, I know.
So if you were not a part of the early 2000s, there was these Hercules McDonald's plates.
Oh, yeah. When McDonald's used to just pop off on the merch.
They're starting to come out now. They got mini Crocs.
Did you see the freaking glasses, though, that we have in Canada?
They're plastic.
Oh, they're plastic. They're hard plastic, and they're clear. And in the States, they got glass with, like, a beautiful, like, colorful design on it.
Oh.
I'm so annoyed. Anyway.
So there used to be these plates. It was, like, Hercules, Pegasus, Meg, Phil, and Zeus. I think
Hades. No, there's the singers.
there's the muses.
Yeah.
And then there's Hades. So we had a bunch of them. And there was a full-out brawl over the Pegasus plate.
The Pegasus plate was very popular.
And I wanted the Pegasus plate. And then Phil was always our dad's.
Yeah.
And then one time he turned on the wrong element and it had like a full-on thing. Like these plates were used for so long, I'm pretty sure the like picture was coming off.
The last surviving one was the Hercules one. The picture was half off. And then one day he put it on the rack and it like just like split in half. And the look on that man's face, like, my favorite plate, it just broke.
And so like ever since then, because you could put those things in the microwave.
Oh,
you
yeah.
could put those in that anything. It was the best plates ever. Very sad to see them go. So if anybody has them and they're like, I know they're expensive.
They're on Etsy. Somebody has like half the set for $106 listed. And they don't even have the Hercules plate.
If anybody has them and you want to get rid of them and you want to donate to a cause, they bring me a lot of joy. They were my favorite plates. Same thing with, oh my God, I think we got rid of them. There's this 4 set of Christmas mugs that our mom has.
Oh, the doll, the rocking horse, a bear, and then what was the other one?
Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker.
And once again, this is the life of having 3 siblings. So we pull out the mugs. The bear was our younger brother. And at that time, Sarah didn't really care.
I usually got Meg. I didn't really care.
Well, I was talking about the mugs.
Oh, yeah.
And you usually took the Nutcracker.
I took whatever I wanted to put my beverage in because I honestly...
I wanted the horse.
Yeah.
And our sister and I would fight over the horse mug. I still live here, so I now have the horse mug. But it was like certain things like that, like you could get them at the thrift store, or it'd be super fun to get those types of things. Or like wall art, sometimes you could find like vintage posters, or like a lot of the trends now are like, I'd say like vintage maximalism. So it's like the golden frames.
I call it like old rich Hollywood, because like you would go in and they would have these houses where they looked like they were out of like almost like medieval times, where everything was just very like, I don't know, I feel like it's how like the Dolce & Gabbana house probably looks. Like just very gold, very loud prints, very painted.
I was thinking about
like,
those.
And then there was what did Carrie call it? That girl I watch on YouTube. She calls it like grandma core or whatever, and it's just like the vintage like gold frames that are all different sizes that like grandmas will have, and you make like the little like gallery wall out of it.
I think those are cute.
So do I.
I was never a fan of those people that are the big black frames where they were all the same size.
Oh, that was like a thing for a while where you could get them, and honestly, I think it's because people could buy them at Costco.
Yeah, you could buy them in bulk. But like even like art supplies, if you want to get into like watercoloring, and usually they have like a pack of those. I know it'll be like dollar store quality, but it'll be like $1 and then you can try it out.
Oh, there's a ton of abandoned hobbies there.
Oh my God, so many. Crocheting, knitting, ribbons, scrapbooking. I know like junk journaling's like making a comeback.
Oh, junk journaling was my whole feed for the last 3 days. And my kid was like, I do that for fun. And I was like, well, we can probably find a notebook somewhere in this house where you can continue to do it. Like, but that's the whole thing. There's lots of
3 shelves that I have notebooks.
There's lots of different things. I know some people are like, ew, gross when I'm about to say this, but I found a ton of shoes. Like brand new, unworn shoes at the thrift store and or at like a consignment store. So like Plato's Closet or something like that. I have found shoes there for so cheap that have obviously somebody bought them because they really like the color at some point. And they were like, I never wear these. I should probably just like sell or donate them. And paid anywhere from $7. And the most expensive ones I bought was, one day I was walking in the rain and my shoe broke. So I went into Plato's Closet because it was literally right there. And then it was torrentially downpouring with rain as my shoe broke. And I bought them, and I think they were like $65-$70. But then I had like a coupon and had a store credit. So I didn't actually pay that much. But yeah, that was there and stuff. I mean, there's some good things. I know sometimes Plato's Closet gets like some shade, but in some cases they're actually cheaper than other thrift stores. And they always have some event going on. Like this weekend, it's the coat event.
Also, like, I find that so many, like, sweaters and stuff like that are so expensive now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's, and, like, we own a business. We do understand, like, the pricing and stuff like that.
100%.
But also, like, to the extent, does it need to be $300?
No, it doesn't need to be $300.
Because, like, I'm still rocking my lazy pants from Costco, my Tough and Tallulah and Lole and all of those, and like I'll wear those till day's end, and they don't like pill and they don't fall apart. But if I get a fancy sweater and it like pills or falls apart, I'm like,
It's so bad.
Well, also sounds really secluded. We're like, I mainly just wear our stuff anyway.
Well, yeah, but that's the whole thing is like you find stuff that you like and everything. And I think another thing is just to like, you don't always need the new version of the thing. You can get a secondhand version of the thing. My other favorite place to go is obviously not actually Facebook, but Facebook Marketplace.
So the best thing I've gotten off of Facebook Marketplace is about, I'd say 3 years ago when you were into Matt and Matt.
Yeah.
And you really wanted a bag. And I found this bag and I found it for $15. And then she was like, actually, I don't want it. I'm like, okay, sick. So I have it. It's this like emerald green mini backpack.
Oh, yeah.
It is so great. I'm like, it does kind of feel like a drug deal because they'll be like, I left it in the grocery bag at the end of my drive.
Oh my God, that's my favorite. Or like, I put it in this thing and you're like walking around somebody's house going, I hope to God I do not have the wrong address.
Oh, exactly. And like, you pick up those. I feel like you also meet a lot of very lovely people.
I got a really nice like Old Navy athletic zip up hoodie and I got it for like $10, but this lady was like, I just need to. So we went by and picked it up and she was like super nice.
Oh, I also got my IKEA bed frame from there, the one that your kid has now. They paid like $40. Like there's certain things in my mind that I won't cheap out on, and like I can't cheap out on shoes. Because I have to wear very specific shoes for work or my feet like despise my existence.
Oh yeah.
The other things would be, why am I getting a text message? Oh, it's just my offering me deals.
Oh, it's the weekend. That's
like,
why it's time for all the push notifications and shit.
My mattress, I just don't cheap out on.
Oh, I don't like sheets. As long as you have the budget and stuff like that. I don't.
Oh yeah,
that for
sheets
stuff.
And like pillows. Just because my body only accepts certain things, and then it won't function properly. Yes, clothing. I'm like, you know what it says as well? Oh my God, I hope she doesn't mind. She won't mind. Me and my friend who I was seeing with the baby, we went into a consignment store and she found jeans. And she was looking for jeans, and she was like, oh my God, look at these. I found jeans. And I was like, I love, like, thrift store jeans, because I know people are like, skinny jeans are out, this is out, this is out, this is out.
I don't care.
When in doubt, if you find a pair of jeans that make you feel good, you can wear to Thanksgiving, you can wear to Christmas dinner. Mm-hmm. You know that, like, if that was between that and leggings, and you were like, you know what, I could wear jeans today.
Yeah.
You're like, sick, put those on. I find, like, it really disturbing, especially during the seasonal changes, which, like, of course, I enjoy the clearance section, but seeing the mass amount of stuff that's there,
yeah,
and I'm like, what happens to it after? And I know that's very, like, people can be like, fucking green bitch, but, like, I'm like, what happens to those? Like, do they get donated? Do they not get donated? Also, like,
sometimes I think they package them up, wait 10 years, and release them for fun.
If you can, like, start selling them at $150, and then because it's out of season, you're now dropping it to $5, and I'm like, are you losing money? Are you not losing money? And this
they're probably not losing money at all.
But it's like, those are the things that I think about, and like, I find now that so many people are like, oh, I bought this off of here, and I bought this off of here. Like, we were discussing this topic for a project we're working on, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm kind of done with consumerism.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I know I bought a new microphone, stuff like that, but that's a part of the business. I'm not going around going, well, I bought 50 microphones because each of the creators that I like use a different microphone.
Yeah.
And like, I want to make sure that we have the best microphone and then not return any of them.
Yeah.
It's like, or even, actually, I just thought of another thrift store thing. Freaking wrapping supplies.
Oh, yeah. Like
Bags.
There's tons of stuff there. I've even found like, I know some people are like, oh my God, I found like this perfect Coach bag that I just got to recondition. That one girl has that like really satisfying.
I really like watching her though.
Hey, it's great, but like I'm just gonna give everybody like a heads up. Depending on the area that you live in, that is not a common occurrence.
Also, like, sometimes when you go through the bags and purses and stuff, I don't understand the bag and purse trend. Like, to me, I have like my fanny pack.
Yeah.
I'm hands free. I have my Columbia fanny pack. I use it for everything. I also am not a fashionable person. So
No, we're not like trend followers. We're more functional fashion versus what's cool and like what's the next thing to have. Not what we have is considered cool, but like
I like to be.
I don't need someone to tell me what I need. I can usually be like, I need leggings that have pockets because I always put my phone in there. And some people are like, yeah, but it's great to have leggings that don't have pockets because they class it up a little bit. I'm like, I don't care. I will forever put my phone in my right-hand pocket. So why am I keeping leggings that don't have, or why am I keeping or buying leggings that don't have a pocket in the side? Because all I do is get annoyed.
I feel like, too, the people that are influencers for these things obviously do not have siblings that dress alike.
Yeah.
Because, like, honestly, half the time, between the two of us, we're like, oh my God, I found this. And then Sarah will be like, I need to go to Costco because you bought this. And now I need it.
Or the single best random phone call on a Sunday. Hi, I'm at Costco. I just found this. I'm sending you pictures now. Okay, perfect. Oh my God, that's so cute. Can you get it for me in this color? Yeah, sure. Because not only does it avoid me being at fucking Costco, but I get the cool thing.
But also, it's
that you thought of because it was like, oh my God, were you just talking about needing something like this?
like spiker short season.
Oh my God, I need to start
Rotating.
Because this year I knew I'd be fine. I got some, they get the biking shorts thing.
Oh
yeah.
Same with like, it like we'll send TikToks to each other, and I'm like, oh, I found something somewhat similar. My favorite thing that I found for you was those IKEA metal things. Because I remember we had a conversation about you wanted to organize your files.
Those were so great. They worked great. I had those for like a couple of years, and then I ended up donating them because they fell on my... So my husband was going to use them, and then he was talking about using them, and then he never did. And I was like, they're very heavy, by the way. She's talking about the file folders from IKEA that go in the
metal ones, like that, because she had sent it to me, and she goes, oh, when we go to IKEA next, in like the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I like these. And I was like, okay. And I went to the store and it was literally fully packaged.
Yeah. Right. It was brand new. And I used them for a long time. I had it in my space, used it, all the other stuff. And then I was like, well, are you going to use these? And he's like, no. And I was like, okay, well, I'll get rid of them. So I got rid of them. And then, of course, he looks at me and goes, you know what? I think I actually needed them. Do you have them? I'm like, no, I donated them. Went back. And this is where I'm going to talk about a negative of some thrift stores. I went back and I was like, whatever, I'll just buy it. What are they going to have it at? They had each individual metal folder priced at $2.99. And there was 10 of them.
What?
Each individual fucking one priced at $2.99. And they were connected still. Like, I was like, I don't know if this is a joke. Some kid got pissed off who was working there or whatever it is. But, like, seriously?
I found that, like, certain things at the thrift store, like, well, those are quite expensive based off of it. And, like, in the grand scheme of things, it might be cheaper in certain areas.
Yeah.
But I'd say, like, I will mainly shop at, like, TJ Maxx stores, thrift stores, and dollar stores.
Yeah.
I'd say when I started working, I was more into shopping online, and now I'm just like, well, I just don't want to pay for this, or I don't want to pay for like shipping, or I don't want to pay for this or this or that.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I actually need it? No. Okay, bye.
And that's the whole thing, is sometimes it gives that like cause for pause. Another thing that I usually do at the thrift store is like build Halloween costumes. I know that's like a common thing that a lot of people do, but like one year I was Ms. Frizzle.
Yeah.
And I found a skirt that was like blue, and then I went to the Dollar Tree and I got all their planetary stickers and stuck them all over. And then I got some lights from there too, and then did it where it lit up. And then got like a yellow cardigan and stuff like that. So I did that. Yeah, so there's like tons of different options and stuff like that. I always will look stuff up online because sometimes you get really excited about finding something, but you can actually find out that maybe the newer version or a different version of it or whatever, maybe it's overpriced, maybe it is underpriced. I still look it up as if it was a new item, as I would do in Walmart to look for a review on something before I purchased it. If I was needing to kind of like justify that, I don't care what the price is. If it says that it'll most likely break or it did this or did this and that's what I'm looking for it to do, then I'm not going to get it. But yeah, there's a couple different ways. Of course, it's more eco-friendly and stuff like that. I like the thrill of the find. I will go knowing that I want to go thrifting, and I'll go with like my headphones if my family's not there, and I'll just like whip through and look at stuff. So there's lots of different ways you can go about it. We would love any book recommendations, any other cool things that you've had fun finding at thrift stores or DIYing from thrift stores that maybe others haven't thought of. And yeah, stay as warped and twisted as ever. Thank you so much for listening to us on YouTube. You can find us on all of the socials: Instagram, Pinterest,
TikTok,
Facebook,
Snapchat. But if you're more of a like just an audio type person, we're on Spotify podcast, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. I think we're on Pandora, iHeartRadio, and you can also check us out on the RSS feed.
Thank you so much for listening, and feel free to go re-listen to some of the episodes that we have.